We just used our LogoJet UV 90R to make 300 swap pins for the Next Level Laser Conference, and we'll show you all our tricks right now.
Do it, build it, make it. If you think it, we create it. Do it, build it, make it. With Kim and Garrett, make it.
What is up? Welcome back. Do you like to do it, build it, or make it?
So do we.
Next Level Laser Conference is right around the corner, and if you've ever been to one of these laser conferences, you know that pin swaps are a thing. We didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
And last year was our first time at a laser conference, and we went naked. People were giving us pins, expecting something back, and all they were getting is a crisp high five.
Yeah, they wanted to swap. We had nothing to swap. But this year, we're coming in stacked. We're gonna make sure we have our pins, and we're gonna be ready to go. But not only are they just gonna be pins, we're gonna take them to the next level. See what I did there? We're gonna make sure our pins are a little more fun. We're gonna add some prizes in there. We're gonna make our pins RFID pins. So we're gonna do full color acrylic with an RFID tag for your chance to win a prize and a gift.
If you've never been to the Next Level Laser Conference, you're in for a treat. It is 3 days of hanging out with hundreds of other laser community folks. There's education, there's a huge vendor room, and all of this goes down August 28th through the 30th in Grapevine, Texas.
And this year we'll be presenters at the conference. We'll be doing Show Up and Sell Out, a craft show masterclass. So we're gonna show you how to set up that craft booth and all the tips and tricks we use to show up and sell out at our craft shows.
Step 1, we're gonna gather all of our supplies. We needed some clear acrylic because we're making acrylic pins. We need some pin backers because we're making pins. We needed some RFID tags, these little stickers, because we're putting a special treat in each pin. And then we needed some 1/8" MDF. This is gonna be our jig for when we do our printing jigs.
We are gonna be making acrylic, full color acrylic pins. So we're gonna use our jig and we're gonna show you just how fast we can make all of these pins.
Step 2, we're gonna make our pin design. We're gonna use our logo because that's recognizable and that's how everybody knows who we are. And we already have our t-shirt logo, so we're just gonna shrink that down and use the same one for our pins. And we're gonna jump into Illustrator and I'll show you how to make our print file and our jig.
Little secret here is because this logo has a white background, we'll be able to hide these RFID tags under the print. So we think once we print the white background and the color on top, you won't even know that the RFID tags are in there.
You'll have to find it. Let's show you just how easy it is to make the jig and your print file. So here's my logo. It's the same logo that's on our t-shirts. I just shrank it down to 1.5 inches. We're gonna copy this logo. I'm gonna close this tab, this window, just to save on memory. And in this window, this is our LogoJet template for our jigs. This came with our LogoJet, so you can make your own jigs, and that's what we're doing.
The full size of the bed, so it is 24 by 36. Yeah, and if you zoom in here, you can see all these little screw holes. These represent screw holes in the bed. So you can have 3 different jig platens that you can screw down on the bed here. And so we're only going to use the one of them, the first one.
Yeah, the front one or the bottom one. So let's ungroup all these screw holes. Let's grab the outer frame of our jig and we'll drag it down between these 2 screw holes. These screw holes. And we can get rid of all these other screw holes. Delete. Now I don't need this big of a jig area. And how I'm gonna export this is I'm gonna be exporting it using my artboard. So I want my artboard the same size as my image and my SVG. And to do that really quick, I'm just gonna grab the outer frame of my jig. And we'll say Object. We'll come all the way down to Artboards. And then we'll say Fit to Selected Art. It automatically cropped my artboard down to the exact size of my jig.
There we go. I was going to say, let's zoom in a little.
Now I can paste in my logo. We'll just paste it in, drag it up to the top left somewhere. And I need a bunch of these. I want to print a bunch of them at the same time. So I'm going to go to Object. We'll go to Repeat. And we'll say Grid. And I get this little grid. If you don't see your grid, if you're too zoomed out and you just see the handles, zoom in a little bit and you'll pop up with these other little slider bars. And as you slide it, you'll be copying more of the first object.
Yeah, you'll repeat your pattern.
So I'm going to drag it down. I want some space between these because this is going to be a print thing and a jig. So let's give some space for these jig pieces. I don't want my jig to burn up or cut out all the little pieces. All right, that looks like good spacing. Now I'm going to copy this all the way over by dragging my handles. We'll catch in between two logos. And then I'll drag it down and try to catch in between two logos. I have to zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
If the logo is a little bit visible, it will show up in the next step, and I don't want it to show up. It's better to trim off the last logo you want than to let the little bit of the next logo show. Like, I'll just leave it like that, trimmed a little bit.
And it's going to grab all of that.
Yeah, it'll grab all of that. Ooh. All right.
Now, basically, what you've created is a pattern.
Yep, I got myself a pattern.
But we don't want that. We want individual cuts.
I want individual cuts and I want individual prints. So I'm going to go up here to Object, Expand, and I'm going to leave these checked, Object and Fill. And what this is going to do is it's going to pull it out of the repeat tool and make them their own little objects again, but they're going to be grouped together inside of a mask. So we're going to release the mask. And at this point, when you release the mask, you'll see that the parts of the last logo that might have been clipped off are showing up now. So I'm going to grab this again. I want to release the mask. Let's grab it. Oh, the mask is off. Mask is off. I just got to find it because there's no fill and no stroke. So you just got to kind of hover over it till you find it. And let's delete that. My print file is pretty much done. Now that everything's still grouped together, I'm going to grab one of these. I'm going to say copy. I'm going to keep that in my clipboard for a minute. And while everything's still selected, I'm going to go over to my Pathfinder tool and I'm going to unite everything. I'm trying to create the outlines so that I can cut out all these little pieces for my jig, or I can just slide my pins back in.
So the cut file. So we're just going to make, really you just want the outside of this image.
Yep.
So.
I don't need all the interior pieces. I'm going to unite everything. And since it has a backer to it, this white backer around the letters and everything, it's just going to unite. And it's basically going to be the shape of the backer.
Right. Flatten everything down to the biggest layer, which is that white backer layer.
All right. Now with everything still selected, I'm going to grab my eyedropper tool. I'm going to select one of these little screw holes because this is going to be my cut layer. And if I select that with my eyedropper tool, it takes on the properties of whatever I selected.
Which is no fill and a red stroke, which is what it looks like now. No fill, red stroke for each one of them.
And this is my jig. This is what my jig is going to look like. And I'm going to send this over to the laser. So we'll just export this as, and we'll just say, KNG logo pins jig. And I'm going to save it as an SVG. Export. Okay. No thanks. I'm going to open my layers. I'm going to hide all of these layers. Hide everything. Everything's gone. Now I'm going to do Control-Shift-V.
Wait, remember he copied them before, so still on his clipboard
Still
were
on
the
my
actual logos.
So with Control-Shift-V, I'm going to paste everything back into place.
Right where it was. Instead of just Control-V would just pop it onto your screen, but Control-Shift-V puts it right back, paste in place.
I was impatient, hit it twice. I'm going to delete this layer. Okay, now I'm going to go back to File, Export as, I'm just going to use a similar name, Right, so I'm going to select my SVG just to pull that name. But now I'm going to change it to a PNG. And this isn't my jig, this is my print. So I'll just say print. Now I'm going to select Use Artboards. And what this does is it will take everything in the artboard, and if you have multiple artboards, it'll export everything. But it's going to take the shape of the artboard, not just the shape of the objects on your artboard. Like when you export a PNG regularly, you'll notice that it'll clip around the artwork and you get just that artwork,
You're
not that big
exporting the
space
image
around it. But here I want that space around it. That way 0, 0 on the jig is 0, 0 on the image.
So we want to export the image and the artboard.
We'll say export.
So the white area you see on the screen, that bottom right, is 0, 0 on the printer bed. And so I want my jig to be that size so that my image prints in the middle of the board.
Step 3, we're going to make all of our cuts. Acrylic is expensive and we want to maximize our space. So we're going to go make our cut file real quick in LightBurn, and we're going to nest all of our little pins so we get every ounce of this acrylic sheet.
Right, this is from Houston Acrylic, and this is a big one. This is 12 by 24, so it is a large sheet. I think we can get a bunch out of here.
Yeah, I think we get, I have 2 of them, so we'll see how many we can get out of these 2. But I'm going to try to nest it. Inside LightBurn, we're going to start by importing our jig that we just made. I'm going to drag this down to our bottom left and adjust the power. I'm using bottom left because I have a jig in my laser that it's in the bottom left. I know how big my material is. I have plenty of room, so I'm just going to send it to the laser. Now we need to cut out all of our little pin pieces, but I want to save that acrylic. So I'm going to use this. Okay, I selected most of it without the screw holes. I don't want the screw holes. Let's get rid of all these screw holes.
Because at this point, we need to cut out all the little clear acrylic pieces that will go in the jig that will get printed.
So this is a 23.9 by 12. This is already like the frame size.
Mm-hmm. The size of the acrylic?
Yeah, I'll shrink it a little bit in height just
right.
to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give myself a little room here. And I'm going to set this box aside. Right, we'll just place it down here somewhere. I'm going to grab all these guys, and it's obvious that all of these will fit in there. Let's see if we can fit double the amount of that are in there.
I don't know about that, but
well, we'll see. So
yeah.
We'll go Control D.
Shoot for the stars.
Control D copied all of those. I'm just going to make sure everything is ungrouped. Ungrouped. I'm going to grab all of this stuff here. And I'm going to say laser tools. No, arrange. Nest selected is buried in here. We'll say nest selected. It's going to bring up this website. So we'll upload an SVG. So what happened is it kicked out an SVG for us right here. LightBurn saved this in our downloads and then shot us over to this website. So I'm going to open this SVG. And here it is. Now it's going to ask me, click on the outline to use as a bin. Like, what is my cut area going to be? So that's this box over here. This is the size of my acrylic.
That's your bin.
So I'll click on this bin, and then I'll start my nest. It's going to work through. It's going to give me a couple of combinations.
Will it tell you, will it count how many?
Yeah, I think it'll tell me how many different combinations it'll give me. It'll keep regrouping it until it gets it down to like I'm wasting no material. Okay, now it's going to continue to iterate through. And you'll see that I just have some pieces here. That's because it might have put it on multiple boards, and these are the stragglers or the leftovers. So let's download and see what we got right now. Let's go back to LightBurn. I'm gonna say the file I imported, copy to clipboard, blah, blah, blah. Just say okay.
That was the SVG we talked about.
I don't really read it. And then we'll double click this guy. I don't know why I put it way over there. Ooh, look at that. Let's just hit this guy. That's pretty nested. Yeah, see, this is the second layer, or the second board that we would need. But man, look, it nested like 280 something in there, 275.
How do you know that?
Oh, back here in this little website piece.
Oh,
it said
286.
Parts placed 286.
Wow.
So that is tight. I don't think I can get any more out of the board than that. I'll delete this guy. All right, let's put this guy down here. I'll set it up for my acrylic.
So in that jig, how many were in there?
25.
Close to 140 or 50. So I'll be able to, so I'm getting way more material out of the acrylic, and then I can just lay them in the jig. All right, let's do this.
All right, let's send it. Step 4, time to make our prints. I have 275 of these little acrylic pieces, all these little acrylic tags. I think I got every ounce of acrylic out of this piece of acrylic. Actually, I think I probably could have gotten 1 or 2 more in over here.
I don't know why we didn't use that little bit.
I think SVG Nest missed a couple of spots.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, that's using every piece of your board there.
Now, I did remove the film before I cut them so that I wouldn't have to remove all the little pieces of film from each one. So I do have a little bit of flashback, but I'm gonna cure that with a little bit of LA Awesome, throw them in a little bath of LA Awesome, dry them out, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, and then we have our jig cut here. This is a cut out of 1/8 inch MDF, and we're gonna lay this down on the bed. So like I shared, I'm gonna show you some close-ups, but we do have those little screw holes. This is gonna sit right over the screws, and then we're just gonna lay the acrylic pieces in and print. Once I lay the jig down, I'll add all the acrylic pieces into all the little slots here so that I can print right on them. But before I print, I'm gonna add our little RFID tags to some of them so that we can do our little giveaway, prize giveaway.
I'm definitely glad we did it this way with a cut and then a print in the jig, because there's no way we would have ever lined up all those little RFID tags on here.
Well, that's true too. That's true. Yeah. All right, well, I'll meet you over at the LogoJet. We're in our LogoJet Print Pro software. We're gonna open our image. This is the PNG we created. Then we're gonna open our layout, and then we're gonna select our print environment. We're going to do white as a base, color, and then clear gloss on top, because these pens need to be a little bit rugged. They're gonna be in a box together. So we're gonna select that. We're going to double click on our image. Now this is the front of our bed. This is where we stand. And as you can see, the orientation is looking back that way. Our jig faces the other direction. So I'm going to flip our image 180 degrees. And we're just going to go ahead and hit print. We have our jig file on the bed. A great feature of this LogoJet is that you can set auto height. So you just press auto up and down. It will set the bed to the proper height. It has vacuum front and back. So we have turned on the vacuum for the front half of the bed, which was where we have our jig file. And then we just go ahead and print.
step 5. Time to assemble. We're gonna use some Starbond thick, and we're gonna use our jig again, but we're gonna go face down. We're gonna dump out all these little pins that we have. We're gonna put those in face down, hit it with a dab of this glue, and then put the pin in the back.
Fill on our little back posts. Yeah. All right, let's see how quickly we can do it.
I'll race you. Final step, we need to go ahead and make some of these RFID tags some winners, and we're just going to use an app on Kim's phone.
Our NFC Tools app. We're just going to scan each one. I've got the website on my clipboard, so I'll just copy and paste it. I'll scan each one, paste, scan each one, paste.
And then a couple of them get a special paste. We did a whole video on how to make RFID keychains. We'll leave the video right over Kim's head. All done, all set, all ready. We are ready to go to next level laser. Not
Yay.
that one. That one's not going now.
That one's gone forever.
We have them all programmed. We have a couple of big winners in here. I am super stoked to go. I'm glad I have something to pass out while we're there now. I won't feel like such a mooch.
Right? And if you're going to be there, definitely leave us a comment. Let us know if you're going to come by and see us while we're there. I'm hoping to gather some people together, have a little fun, some sort of little drink, something.
Something?
Yeah.
Everybody needs to get together. I think it'll be a great time.
That's what's great
Bring
about
your
this
pin.
conference. It's a way to meet people.
Yes.
Meet people, do some networking, and
That was the best part last year. I got so many selfies. I'm going to break my selfie record at this one.
We're social butterflies.
So be prepared. If you're going to be there, be prepared to get a selfie with me. I got to stack up at least 150 of them this time.
And we love this LogoJet. We're so excited we were able to create this little
I love
jig.
the jig.
Yeah, he's
Right?
super excited about the
I'm super
jig.
stoked on that jig. I mean, I have so many plans for this jig now. That was super easy.
You can see now that you have the frame, you can just make anything into a jig, and
anything.
I can do lots of a ton of different things.
I was able to get every ounce of acrylic out of those sheets of acrylic.
Seems like every time I see a UV printer, they're doing golf balls, so I can't wait to show you some golf balls.
Yeah, what is it with the golf balls? I don't understand. I do not understand. All right, well, I'm about out of time. I got to go make another 275 pins. You got to go get your pins ready for next level. And a big thanks to our patrons. We love you guys. That is the Make It Mafia. That is the best community over there. Followed by Next Level Laser. And I'm hoping to see a lot of the Make It Mafia at Next Level. We did last year. It was crazy. I think this year we need to get a room just for the Make It Mafia.
Just like a
hangout room, like a meet and greet hangout room.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You guys want to hit a meet and greet hangout room?
Oh, creepy. Come meet us at room 212.
Be
We'll
all
be hanging
creepy.
out.
Lights are off, just a couple of candles.
If you're still here, were you thinking like we were? Why would you guys use clear acrylic? Because now you can see the RFID tag on the back. We had the same thought. We're not the sharpest tools in the shed.
Yeah, but you don't know which one's the winner just by seeing that there's an RFID tag in there.
Right. Well, that you've told them now that some of them might be a little something extra.
There is
Not
a little
so
something extra.
Funny for us. Maybe not so funny for you.